Hello and welcome to this episode of the CAPS Conversation series. With us today we have Dr Abdulrahman Alruwaili, a leading, if not the leading, curriculum expert in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Welcome, Doctor.
You're welcome, Brendan. Happy to see you.
I'm always happy to see you, Doctor.
Thanks for having me in your exciting conversations.
No, I'm sure we'll learn a lot from you, as I know myself and many people do learn a lot from you every day.
I think it's the other way around.
Not at all, Doctor. Now, before you became the curriculum expert you are today, life began for you in Al-Jouf, yeah?
Oh yeah, I was born in the northern region. So I came from a small town, it's called Sawyer, which is part of the bigger region, it's called Al-Jouf. It's about 4,000 population, so...
Is that the capital city called Al-Jouf?
No, the capital city called Sakaka.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, but the region called Al-Jouf. So, but I am from smaller even town called Sawyer.
Okay. Now, in the winter, does it get cool there?
Yeah, it's very cold. Sometimes it gets snow.
Snow. Not a lot of people know that in Saudi Arabia, that it does get snow here.
Yeah.
You build a snowman when you were a young boy up there?
No, it wasn't when I was a young. No, it started recently. For like in the past 9 years or 8 years, we started seeing snow in the winter time.
Okay.
So, but this year was like during the spring, was like unbelievable rain, and the land became like more beautiful, and everybody was happy.
Okay.
My dad told me he never seen something like that in his entire life.
Is there a bit of agricultural business there, is there?
Yeah, it's a lot, and some farms.
Okay.
I myself come from family. We grew up in the first 3 years in my life. We grew up in, we lived in our farm. So.
And you went to primary school there?
No, we moved when I was in first grade. So we moved from the farm to the town. So we became more modern. So.
You became more modern, or the town became more modern. I'm sure a combination of both. Now, what was your life like growing up there? Would have been fairly good, yeah. Yeah,
it was good. Quiet. I wasn't very active when I was in the elementary and the middle school. I started my becoming like more active when I was in high school. So for the school clubs and some activities for non-profit organizations. So it was like. Since my, I think, 10th grade was like, my life completely changed. Like, I barely sleep, so.
We're going to
between readings and, organizing some activities, and, yeah.
And then after secondary college, you went to university, or did you go
Yes.
Yeah.
The thing is, I applied only for one college, and I submitted only one application to the teacher college in my in the northern region. So I get to that program. I was very interested to become a teacher.
And what subject area?
So it was Quranic studies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Now, being a teacher's college there, I understand that the teachers' colleges have been merged into the universities.
Yes. It used to be all over the country, but when King Abdullah started changing the higher education system, and started establishing university in every town, in every city. So from 7 university, the kingdom reached almost 30 within a few years. So they merged all the teacher college into these universities. So I get into the program when it was a college teacher, but I graduated from Al-Jouf University.
Okay. Now in your teacher education program degree, did you do practical placement?
Yes. Yeah. We did one semester. It was required for one of the requirement to graduate. No. We spent the whole semester in teaching.
That was the experience. Good.
Yes, that was the first experience.
And that motivated you further to become a teacher?
Yes. Actually, what's motivated me in the first place when I was in high school and the first year in my college. So we during the summer we do the summer club. So I became like semi-teacher. So sometimes the teacher assigned me to a substitute for teaching and doing some activity for the kids. So.
Now, did you become a teacher in Al-Jouf or in another region?
No. When I graduated, my first job was in Al-Qasim. What was again my first choice for a job, because I was very interested to go there. So I got the job. So it was like 1 year experience.
And then, where did you obtain the logistical experience? Because I understand you were responsible for organising buses and the like.
Oh, that's when I was in a college. So when I was in the university, so I used to work. I have two jobs other than being a student. So one of them was running the Amin project for the school bus system. So it was like a big project, almost more than 40 million riyal. So I became the manager. I ran everything. So I established the whole project. So when I was in the college, so I supervised almost like 200 employees. So it was a good experience in my life.
I understand that the owner's still calling you today. Yes.
Yes. And the odd things, the company that I used to work for called Abu Sarhad, which was like kind of a weird name. So I got the label of that name. So people start calling me that name. So still some people say for my old number as that name. So Abu Sarhad.
It's still there. Now, after that, you had the opportunity after the experience in Al Qasim of studying a master's degree in America.
Yes, actually, when I graduated, before I got the job, I applied for the King Abdullah scholarship program. So I get I get the acceptance for the program, but I was always thinking of something different. I said, okay, I wasn't so sure to go there, even though almost decided. But one of my brother actually recommended me to get the job first and secure the job, and then you can go and leave. So that's what I did. It was like even during my time in the States, I was always feeling insecure because I already have a job. So it motivated me to study, harder and further, and being aware of that, I already have my job. So
which university did you go to for the master's degree?
So actually, I went first to study English language, and then I get into Southern Illinois University. It has 3 branches, one in Edwardsville, that's where I get my master, which is like 15 minutes away from St. Louis, Missouri.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, before you enrolled, you mentioned that you went to study English, because you have exceptional English now, but what about when you first arrived in America?
Oh my God. When I went to the States, I wasn't speaking English at all. Nothing. So that's what makes me wonder always how I passed, my high school and my college requirements for English. So, and then after a few years, I almost forgot everything because I never practiced. As I said, I was working with the bus school driver, so I ended up, the kids. But it was hard for me to study English, and it was a big challenge. I remember the first night I arrived at the hotel. I knew they told me, okay, the rent will be something $40 plus tax. I didn't know what tax mean. Okay. What does tax mean? I thought it meant taxi. But they pronounced it different. I said no, because I already searched on the internet, and they said there is a bus to take me from the hotel to the school language, to the institute. I said no. It took me half hour until they pulled up the computer and they translated the word tax into ضريبة, and I realized, they meant something different than taxi. So that's one, you can tell from that how my English was good.
But what were some of your innovative strategies and techniques in acquiring English language proficiency?
The things that I think helped me a lot. After a few months, I realized that the more vocabularies you have, the more your English became stronger. So I bought a lot of flashcards from the Walmart. So I started writing the words in the front in English, and then the back and translate it into Arabic, and then how to pronounce it. So sometimes I get one flashcard with like 3 or 4 different words, and they have coding system. Sometimes because they have the same sound, sometimes they have the same family words, sometimes they similar spellings. So I knew what this, like sometimes they are like sun, run, fun together. Sometimes I experience and expectation. You know, that's the kind of words that I use. Though, I believe I have, I got more than 800 cards.
Whoa.
So what I do, I start collecting them together. Every day I learn something. Every new vocabulary I put it down in the card, and I start reading them every day. Okay, what does that mean? I knew it. So if I know the word, that means okay, that's okay. If I did not, I get if I start with 60 cards, and I get 15 cards that I didn't know what these words mean. That I put them in aside. That's things I do every morning. So that 15 cards I took them with me. So that's my day job. So I start repeating them every day. And whenever I know there was a guy from, he's a Somalian guy. I used to meet him at the Starbucks. So every time I meet with him, I give him the cards, and he starts testing me.
Testing you.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's the things that helped me a lot.
Oh, sure, and also your discipline there to be able to do it.
Yeah, it was a hard time.
And then for the PhD, did you go to the same university, or did you?
Yeah, I applied again. For the applying, I think I have a different experience for going to the university, because the biggest challenge for me was to get an acceptance with my wife into the same university. So I applied. I think it cost me more than $2,000 only for application fees for my master. Okay. So because I applied, I was looking for a university to get acceptance. What is my program, which is curriculum and instruction, and my wife, she wants the health education. So you want them to be the same university. So finally we got one, Southern Illinois University, Edwardsville, that I mentioned, close to St. Louis. When I finished, it wasn't the same things for my PhD, because I applied only for one university, which is the other branch for the Southern Illinois University, and I was lucky. So I got the acceptance. First they rejected me, but when I went to the chair and I met with him, and he, we had a conversation about half hour, and he's got excited. He said, just reapply, and I will be your advisor.
And he was your primary advisor?
Yeah, he was my primary advisor, and I was lucky to have him. He's such a nice guy and so professional, and he helped me a lot. So that's where my PhD. So my wife also, when she finished her master, when she finished her bachelor, she moved with me to this university. So we both we were studying at the same university.
More talented and intelligent family you have.
Oh,
for sure. Now, what was the title of your thesis?
Oh, my thesis was implementing 21st century skills into Islamic study curriculum. So that's I have this this idea about doing my dissertation since I started my PhD, because when I was in my master was about Islamic, about the stereotype that Muslim got into and defaced when they are in the United States. Right. So it's about the culture. So and then I said, okay, in my PhD, I'm going to do something different. So I'm going to see how can we implement the 21st century skills, especially the cultural diversity, into the Islamic study curriculum. Because I always think if you want to sell the idea to somebody, you must do it from how they believe in it. So I always think, okay, Islam is one of the religions that more diverse, which Islam that encourage diversity. So if you want to try to convince people to do it in the curriculum, we should go and tell them that's what the Islam wants.
Certainly a very unique PhD thesis, and from my understanding, you're one of the very few people in the world that studied in depth in that subject area, and that certainly benefited the kingdom upon your return, and the significant contribution to education development you make. But how do you see education continuing to develop in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia in the short term?
Well, I see now it starts developing rapidly. It's unlike what was happening a few years ago, especially with the approval of the new standards, which I think is going to make a big change in the kingdom. So I'm very optimistic. I see a lot of work's been done and been doing. People start doing it now, and they have a lot of plan to improve the education, especially within the 2030 vision.
Yes,
which is it has a lot of aspects and goals related to education, and the Crown Prince himself is very focusing on that. So I am sure there is going to be a lot of things going on in terms of development the education system in Saudi Arabia. And you see, we just saw the profile, I think it was last night, the new structure for the Ministry of Education. So these things will make a lot of difference.
I'm sure it'll make a lot of difference as well, the great Vision 2030 of the Kingdom, but also people such as yourselves who have had the experience in Saudi Arabia, the opportunity to study abroad and return and contribute and motivate and inspire everybody, Doctor.
I think I was lucky. I was lucky. So I was lucky because I got the experience here, and then I went to United States to spend almost 8 years.
Yes.
And then when I came back, I came to one of the top company working in education. So also working with very expert people such yourself and Dr. Muhammad and Dr. Nasser and others. So I think I have a lot of optimism about improving and doing many things. I think the opportunity is there. So we need to work.
For sure, and you certainly do work. I know, 6 to 7 days a week with you, Doctor.
Oh,